Hello, this is Desiree Duvernay,
And Rita.
and we're going to be talking to you about cooking today. We must unlearn what we have learned.
And we have to realize that everything is based on the kitchen. Everything starts with the diet.
We have been taught how to cook wrongly, and it's creating disease. We must get back to cooking correctly with nature.
And all the solution is in the nature. Let nature be your guide.
True peace and true elevation, my brothers and sisters. Barak Shalom, and welcome to another Blazing Fire Truth broadcast, brought to you by your brother, as always, and as usual, Natural Nathan. Okay, everybody, the master is back. The sovereign status is back. I'm going to be showing you some brief cooking skills. I'm brewing up a nice soup right now, so let's get right to it. The ingredients of the soup. See that? This is how you make soup from scratch. Gonna be making some sea plant soup today. See the powerful ingredients? Respect. Himalayan salt, black salt, blue salt, sea salt, intermixed there. Spices already mixing, pot starting to boil. Dulse, a sea vegetable, kelp, kombu, another sea vegetable going to be being used today. Chia seeds, the black and the gray. As you can see, some green beans, red, yellow, green peppers, some onions. I prefer the red, but there is no more of the organic ones. The Camuto tomatoes. Now let's get it all done. Let's get it all done. Right, as you can see, my brothers and sisters, I'm a type of cooking artist. I like to be my own scientist. I don't like following recipes. I like to experiment like a scientist, a cooking scientist, you could call me. As you can see, I've already got some of the kelp and dulse intermixed there. The dulse is in a powdered form, a grinded powdered form, and the dulse, you kind of have to rip it apart into pieces, as you could see here. And I'm just allowing the pot to simmer, allowing all the chemistry of the foods, the different elements contained in the sea plants, the Himalayan salt, all the different spices I showed you before, to intermix and to slowly cook itself and harmonize itself for 3 to 5 minutes. I don't really cook soup that long. What I like to do is I pretty much like putting my vegetables in there as close to raw as possible. I cook it very little, because if you overcook things, you take the life energy out of the food. You destroy the nutrients when you overcook food. So keep in mind, when you're making soups, do not overcook it. If you want the flavors to come out in your soups, only cook the spices and cook your base for whatever amount that you feel that it needs to be intermixed so it tastes well. Do whatever, but the main ingredients, don't cook too long. The way to balance this out rightly and correctly is to cut up some onions, cut up 1 onion or whatever amount of onions you want. Cut up 1 onion and allow it to boil in with the soup, so the glutamic acid contained within the onions and the tomatoes can blend in to amplify the flavors of the food. And then when it's done cooking, cut some fresh tomatoes and a fresh onion and put it in there and allow it to cook for 2 to 5 minutes and then eat. You want your stuff to be as fresh as possible. It's the same thing with the peppers here. You want the same thing done. You don't want to overcook your food. You want to eat for life and not for death, my brothers and sisters. Life and not for death. Cooking food is not always good for you. You need to eat for life and not for death. And even when you are going to cook food, make sure you're not overcooking the vegetables, especially. You want it to have as much nutrient density and life energy as much as possible. And that is the fire truth, my brothers and sisters. That is some tips and advice, and I'll show you the final result when I'm done with this artistic dish here, the soup dish here. All right, let's continue. Just had to run to the grocery store and pick up some portobello mushrooms, organic portobello mushrooms. It's another master key ingredient in the soup. Kind of like that meat replacement in a semi-fashion. Another foundation, don't forget the spices that I showed you, another foundation to the food. Now I just have to add this in, cut these up quickly, add it to soup, and I'll show you the final results when I'm done. Alright, I'm just in the backyard. I'm about to go check on the soup. It should be done by now, and I'll show you the final results. My brothers and sisters, remember, when you're dealing with ingredients, you just cannot throw ingredients together and expect things to turn out good. You have to have some wisdom, you have to have some discernment when you're dealing with ingredients when you're making food. That's the key to cooking. You have to know how much time you need to cook each ingredient of the food, how long you need to cook the base of the food, like the soup part, for example, with the spices and the herbs and some of the pre-vegetables, like the onions you want to be putting in there, like at least one onion, at least a few tomatoes in there to balance things out. So it could release its glutamic acid to amplify the flavors in the base of the soup itself. So you have to have discernment between the amount of times you cook your vegetables, and always make sure you steam them and cook them as little as possible. You don't want to overcook your food or you lose your nutritional density and electrified vitality and that life energy of the force of nature contained in the foods, my brothers and sisters. So make sure you experiment to be an artistic food scientist and find out what is the best combinations, and that is the fire of truth, my brothers and sisters. I also encourage you to watch an anime called Food Wars. In Japanese, I think it's called like Tsunagami, whatever it's called. It's called Food Wars in English. Look it up. It's a great anime for you to learn something. A lot of good tips and advice in that anime. Anyways, let's go check on the soup. I just remembered the anime is called Shokugeki no Soma, Food Wars. Check it out. Brothers and sisters, this is the final results as I'm showing you right here and right now. What the soup look like when it's done. Beautiful, exquisite with many different colors. The final results is right in front of you right now. Final results. Beautiful, tastes exquisite, phenomenal food as nature intended to give you that a true electrified vitality, longevity and resiliency like an evergreen tree, thriving and surviving throughout all the seasons. And that is the fire of truth. Real food at its best and finest. Remember, the darker the colors, the better it is for you. And that is the fire of truth, brothers and sisters. Color is life. Darkness is life. Remember that. Chlorophyll is akin to melanin. Get your melanin up, get more vitality. And that is the fire of truth. True peace and true elevation, and enjoy the rest of your day and get to cooking and get your behind back to nature. As always and as usual, get your behind back to nature. Wow. It's that food greatness right here as nature intended. Nothing gets better than nature at its finest and at its best, at its pinpoint, peak, pinnacle of its potential, especially when it's wildcrafted and organic and you know how to prepare food properly because you have the wisdom in nature flowing through you, that life energy. You're not full of death, eating meat all the time, eating meat and flesh like a zombie. You have to know how to elevate yourself above eating flesh all the time. Keep that to a minimal to the best of your ability because flesh does not increase your electrified vitality. It's the plant life, my brothers and sisters. It's the plant life. And this is food at its best and at its finest. And that is the fire of truth and nothing but the whole, living, unified truth, my brothers and sisters. So get your behind back to nature.
Introducing your baby to simple, healthy, and natural food can instill good eating habits that last a lifetime. In an age when seasonality, locality, and a return to cooking at home are the top culinary trends, new moms and dads with hungry families, now more than ever, need to know how to cook delicious, healthy food for their young children. Enter French master chef Alain Ducasse and noted dietitian and teacher Paul Nérat. The 100 recipes in Cooking for Kids encourage parents to broaden their infants' culinary horizons by introducing simple yet sophisticated flavors in interesting combinations as early as 6 months. Cooking for Kids follows their previous collaboration, Nature, with the same focus on balance, freshness, and variety. After a lifetime of cooking, teaching, writing, and raising children, the authors are experts at turning the pickiest palates into adventurous eaters. Simple yet flavorful combinations ensure that the food is never bland, although the recipes contain practically no added sugar or salt. Cooking for Kids goes beyond baby food, and the authors describe how to adjust certain recipes to changing nutritional needs and more sophisticated palates as baby grows into a toddler. Many dishes can be made for the whole family, and there are easy-to-eat variations on classic adult fare, such as onion soup, risotto, tagine, and a fabulous fresh gazpacho with watermelon that's fit for any dinner party. Kids are never too young to appreciate attractive colors and garnishes, so information is included on presentation, and more than 65 stunning photographs show just how beautiful, simple, healthy, and natural cooking can be.
True peace, true power, and true elevation. Barak Shalom, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to another Blazing Fight True broadcast, brought to you by your brother, as always, and as usual, Natural Nathan. Okay, everybody, today I'm going to be going over some more cooking artistic skills, brought to you by yours truly, Natural Nathan. So let's get right to it. Exquisite scene here, as always. Right, I'm going to be crafting and creating some pasta today. Pasta. All the ingredients. Powerful, powerful. Let's get it started. The food is almost done, as you can see. The ingredients are just boiling and fusing itself together in a chemistry pot here. Powerful, powerful. With the Kamata tomatoes, the kelp, the dulse, sea plants, mushrooms, Kamuta tomatoes, the red onions, and the herbs and spices. Here's the green peas with the potatoes in here, steaming. Okay. Let that finish, it's almost done. And as you can see, you got these set. Kamata tomatoes, the kiwi to add that exotic citrus flavor, avocado, red onions, and the crimini mushrooms, more add. Yellow, orange, and green peppers to add to the mix. Remember, like I said in the first video, you want to have a portion of your ingredients mixing in with the herbs and spices to bring out the flavor in the pasta. And eventually the potatoes when it gets mixed in there, and this gives you the nutrient density, because this is not going to be cooked as much. It's going to have a little bit of a munchy flavor. It's not going to be cooked for too long, and that's the beauty of how to cook and get the chemistry right. You got to practice, because repetition is the mother of learning and skill. You got to experiment like a scientist and see what spices and herbs work best, and experiment with the cooking times. Remember, do not cook your food too long, or you lose the life energy and the energetic nutritional value that's in your food. So make sure you experiment when you're cooking and be an artist. I'll show you the final result when I'm done. Final results will be shown when I'm done. So let me just conclude this and see you on the complete work of art. Alright, my brothers and sisters, the cooking dish should be done. I'm gonna go check on it right now. Looks like it's just raining a bit out here. It's all good. It's a nice cloud views and everything. Nice beautiful view. It's planting some vegetables here on the side. Alright, let's go check on it. Here's the moment you've been waiting for. The artistic cooking skills in action once again. In the flesh. The final result of the pot, as you can see. Exquisite, isn't it? Beautiful. Beautiful. The dish served out right here. Always remember, allow the ingredients to marinate. When you allow the ingredients to sit and marinate for a bit, that's when the ingredients and the flavors truly jump out at you. Final dish right here. This is the green string peas and the potato steam just sitting in the pot here. Let's close that up. Put that aside. Some fresh raisin bread right here. Getting ready to be served. Let me take this dish out here so you could see a better view of it. Right out while it's raining a little bit, but that's all good. The power of rain, the force of nature, the elements getting instilled. Here's the food up close. The exquisite work of art. Now this is real food, my brothers and sisters. This is real food. Food at its finest. That is the fire of truth and nothing but the whole, living, unified truth, my brothers and sisters. So as always and as usual, take heed, take notes, and take action. And get your behind back to nature. Yep. Brothers and sisters and friends out there, here's the final look of my food to see it one more time laid out. Another great viewing, as you could see, the artistic skills in action. And it's only fitting that the wolf is looking right at you here. Final view, final look. Put in work, put in action, experiment to be your own scientist holistically. Whether it's food, whether it's to improve your fitness, your health, your intelligence, put it in action and get results so you could teach others, so they could so you could elevate them and they could teach themselves. It's all about knowledge of self, my brothers and sisters. That's how you get this knowledge. Knowledge of self and being your own scientist and finding the truth of the matter in what will work best for you and in real life. And that is a fire truth. Anyways, let me get back to my food, my brothers and sisters. Let me enjoy my food. That's too bad for you. Too bad for you. Let me enjoy my food. This is why you need to get back to nature, my brothers and sisters, so you could thrive in true electrified vitality, longevity, and resiliency like an evergreen tree, thriving and surviving throughout all the seasons. You want to have that electrified vitality? You want to have that natural intelligence and wisdom? Get your behind back to nature and get bare and allow the sun and the force of nature elements to hit your skin bare. So that spark of new creativity, that spark of artistichood, that spark of intelligence and wisdom and elevation and ascension can thrive in you, can spark in you like true electricity in a thunderstorm. Anyways, get yourself back to nature, take heed, take notes, and take action. Final look. True peace and true power and true elevation to you, brothers and sisters. Barak. Shalom.
We talked you a whole bunch of ideas, a way of wisdom and way of cooking. The narrow way, as you might say, digging for the truth. You're supposed to use fruit as your sugars, not the sugar. You must get away from the synthetics. You must get away from any patented man-made, get back to nature, natural made.
People have to be educated that they can find all the delicious and sweet flavor in the nature, in the natural supplements, and they don't have to use the synthetics.
And we have to recognize that spices are natural. They are what is going to give us that natural flavor. We want to recognize that the excitogens that come in meat and sugar and these other things, that nature has excitogens and spice of life.
People have to be educated about these facts so they can make their life more healthy and longer.
So cooking is the basic way for us to get across a message of getting back to nature, because literally 85% of today's diseases are caused by bad cooking.
And by the terrible diet.
So what we need to do is to get back to a basic idea. We're going to be offering many other little videos, and you can go online. However, you're going to find that the sugar people, the chemical people, the pharmaceutical people, the medical people, all of this, they don't like this.
And it's very important to educate people that they don't have to boil anything in oil. They can steam, they can grill, and they can use all the natural ways to make the food tasty and delicious.
We have learned bad ways of cooking. Boiling in oil, overcooking, overeating meat, eating pig and other different foods. You are what you eat. This is very important.
And if you don't watch your diet, the exercising is not enough by
Chewing
itself.
the food, must chew the food. You must understand how that God has given us a juicer in our teeth and our mouth to masticate and chew this food, get it ready for digestion.
A person's actions will tell you everything.
We must take action in this world, and action starts with our own kitchen. And if you don't buy bad foods, you can't eat bad foods.
And as soon as you start thinking with children, they will grow up on a natural, healthy way of life.
And truth comes from that nature. Recognize that the patents are all designed for profit. All of that sugar, that white sugar, is designed for profit.
If we all realize that nature is the basis of everything, and we can make a giant improvement and change in our lives.
We must recognize and get to grips with our own selves and deal with this and waken our minds.
We need to all wake up,
back
open
to
our
the
minds.
process. If we were taught in fifth, we were all taught in fifth grade, our bodies are made of atoms. Atoms have electrons in the outer shell. The electrons don't touch, they repel. So atoms don't touch. You can't touch the chair you're sitting in. And yet no human being has ever seen the atomic structure of their own body. What we have in life is an illusion. Our mind imposes on this illusion. And this illusion is very, very powerful. And we now have to recognize that we have to cut behind the illusion and recognize that nature knows the sunlight from the sun striking the plant, preparing the plants for our foods.
Mind, body, and spirit can be balanced if we keep in these important steps and we base our life on nature and we start educating our children and ourselves.
So we can come back to an idea of recognizing the basic force of nature and its incredible complexity.
Education is the key to nature.
And the synthetic chemical companies do not understand any of this process. We are just infants in our understanding. How many electrons in the human body? 10 with 28 zeros. The incredible complexity of just one human body. And what we know with all these electrons, 10 to the 28 electrons in one human body, we are energetic beings.
We are all energy forms.
The matter that you think of yourself is an illusion.
We all have vibrations and frequencies.
And that is the true nature. And nature seems to know how to take that sunlight.
And that will make our frequency higher, so that will improve the health.
And the plants are made for us to eat. The plants are made for the meat carnivores to eat. And human beings are part carnivore, part herbivore. But you must realize that no human being who is completely carnivore is going to be healthy. The basic key to health is recognizing that you need to get about 40-50% fresh and raw food, slightly cooked, stir-fried, if you wish. But you really need fresh fruits and vegetables to really be healthy.
Health is the greatest wealth on the earth.
Not that meat is bad, but meat that is overcooked can be bad. And unhealthy meat, such as pig, can be bad if eaten every day. Pig was supposed to be eaten twice a year.
I think I could cross that off my list.
So we have to get back to awareness of nature and awareness of ourselves.
To all the origin of humanity, the way of wisdom, and that's the nature.
And we must not just know, we must apply. Not easy. Truth is not easy.
This type of education should start in primary school and try to wake up everybody.
And truth is coming. And the truth is, nature knows, and the chemical companies do not. This is Desiree Dubonnet.
And Rita Namini signing off.
I hope we helped you today.
Enjoy your meal.